War with Iran. A lot of people's question right now might be, is this World War III? I've heard people talk about this, ask questions along these lines, and I'd like to get into it and give my thoughts. So, in a way, we were already in World War III, potentially, with the war in Ukraine, with China's potential aspirations, or rather, China's aspirations for potential military action in Taiwan, as well as the U.S. getting into Venezuela. That was so far short-lived, but now the war that Israel and the U.S. sort of started last year, which is a response to the attacks from Iran before that on Israel, it's just continuing. And I think we're finding now, with the supreme leader of Iran being taken out, Iran is still fighting back quite a bit, and it looks like they're still able to send out cheap drones, the Shahed drones, their specialty, and they're able to send those out fairly far away. I believe I heard a target was struck in Cyprus by one of their drones, which is further than maybe some people saw this version of this war between the U.S. and Israel, maybe a bit further than people saw it spreading out this quickly. So we're in the third day of this new version of the war. And supposedly, at this moment in time, or at least as of an hour or so ago when I heard this, we already have 15 countries involved in this regional, but quickly spreading beyond regional war in Iran. We have a lot of U.S. allies, countries which allow the United States to keep military bases in them. They've been struck by Iran, and in a way, I think it is a very clear strategy at this point of Iran to spread the war out, to make the cost to the United States potentially so high that we will want to capitulate a little bit to the Iranian regime. We won't still try to seek for all three of the main concerns the U.S. had at recent talks. Those being, Iran ends nuclear enrichment, they end the nuclear program, they stop creating ballistic missiles, they stop that program, and then they stop funding and supporting proxy groups, proxy terrorist organizations in various other countries, like the Houthis, Hamas, and etc. So those were the three things we were asking for, the U.S. was asking for. And Iran obviously was not willing to really negotiate that far on those 3 points. So now we have the war that has begun, or has escalated. And the question is, with the Strait of Hormuz potentially being fully closed, more or less, for whoever knows how long, this might get bigger. And I don't yet see it getting to the point where we're going to have a true World War III where China is directly involved, or where Russia is directly involved. But it's possible. At the end of the day, a large amount of China's oil, their energy, is going to come through the Strait of Hormuz. And if Iran is in so much chaos that not only the current regime closes down the Strait of Hormuz, but also Iran itself is incapable of supplying oil to China, that's where we might see this change possibly. But I think we're going to need to see some things happen before even that's really a concern. Right now we have France, the UK, and Germany moving to raise their involvement in this current war in the Middle East. And the purpose for doing this that they're saying isn't necessarily to help the US or Israel directly strike Iran. They want to more play a defensive role. I believe a French base was struck by Iran, and it is causing, a French base was struck by Iran, and now you have the French moving their aircraft carrier into the region, which supposedly is the next most capable aircraft carrier beyond the US's fleets. What's in their fleet as far as aircraft carriers go. And so if the French get involved, and they get involved in a large way, you have France get involved, you have the UK get involved, and then other countries in Europe start to play a bigger role. It could start spreading, and spreading unintentionally. I mean, war is kind of an unpredictable thing by its very nature. We see friendly fire actually being the cause of the first U.S. jets in this war to be taken down. 3, I believe, F-15 jets were taken out by Kuwait's air defenses. They were under attack by Iran. Kuwait is a U.S. ally with U.S. bases in the country, and they mistook 3 F-15s for Iranian aircraft, and they shot them down. The F-15 pilots not being able to evade, because you're not really looking for your friendlies to shoot you from a close range. That's not really the threat that you're looking for directly. So anyway, we have all these unpredictable things happening. One sort of thought I have is, if we really see a large successful strike on a U.S. aircraft carrier or a U.S. Navy vessel, a large vessel is struck and damaged significantly, with potentially a lot of American lives lost, we might see this war grow into something that Donald Trump is maybe not planning for. I think an aircraft carrier or a large U.S. Navy vessel getting struck and many people dying, many U.S. soldiers dying, that might be the sort of spark the true full-on World War III moment. I mean, we've already had sort of these these moments that might, in hindsight, be those moments that spark World War III. We might already be past that. But I'm just saying, if there were a successful strike on a U.S. Navy vessel and many people died, I think this is going to escalate. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But again, with the world's economies being on shaky footing, it's kind of worldwide right now, there's talk that this might trigger a recession, this spike in the oil prices. One of the reasons I decided to make this video today is, just a few days ago, I saw at the gas station down the street from me, I saw that, regular, I believe it's 87 octane gas was $2.27 per gallon. And now it's essentially, it's like a whole dollar up. It's in like the high 320s, or like 330. Like just in a few days, we've added, I don't know, gas has went to like 150% the previous cost. For that to happen in such a short period of time, and this is only getting priced in as if the Strait of Hormuz is closed for a little bit. We've not seen the full price increase. But beyond that, beyond just the strait getting closed, if the world truly finds itself at war here soon, and if it's a war between major powers like the US and Russia, or US and China, we won't really be able to predict what the world will look like. I still don't think we're at that point yet. I don't think we're going to see direct conflict between the US and Russia or US and China. I don't think it makes sense for any of those three countries involved to have a direct conflict. But, the worry is the US gets more involved, other allies of the US get more involved, and this war in the Middle East starts restructuring the global order to the point where Russia or China might be incentivized to actually take action in some way. It probably would start out in a small way. The war that has been going on has been a proxy war to this point. With the West and then Russia and China being on the other side, mainly in Ukraine, like that is the main proxy war between the West and Russia, and then China supplying Russia with many materials for the war, even with a bit of financing. But I don't want to go rambling anymore. I've described a little bit of where we are at. It is a sort of treacherous time. We need to tread carefully in geopolitics to avoid things going more extreme. But we're not all the way there yet, but we might not be able to stop the escalation. That is the worry. That is the worry. Are we there yet? I don't think we're at the point of no return, but boy, it does feel like we are teetering on the edge. So, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, a like, comment if you have any thoughts or criticisms, and I'll be happy to discuss with you in the comments. See you next time.